Yo, so you guys are wondering why you're not making any money with your OnlyFans account? Well, guess what? We're gonna talk about it right here, right now. One of the reasons is gonna hurt your feelings really badly, but I'm so sorry, it's just the truth. Let's go. So what's up, guys? This is 𝗦𝗧𝗥𝗘𝗦, and you have reached the Roughneck's Ecom channel. If you want to learn how to make money online or offline, then you need to be right here. I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I'm also an honorably discharged Air Force veteran. Graduated from Penn State and started a career as a software engineer and leveraged that to build my businesses. If you guys have any questions on how to make money, you're gonna find all your answers right here, so stay tuned. Yo, Roughnecks, welcome back to the channel. Well, for all you new people, welcome. So today we're gonna be talking about OnlyFans and why you may or may not be making money, actually why you're not making money, okay? Now, it's gonna be kind of painful, but some people need to take a look inside and be like, you know what? It's probably not for me, okay? So, again, obviously, I'm the king of automation. OnlyFans has been automated for my clients. I have a whole agency where I help girls go from zero to hero, essentially. Now, it takes a little while, depending on, their branding and things like that, but, we hook them up. So I do believe I have a little bit of knowledge about this space. Just because I'm not on OnlyFans showing the meat swinging and all that doesn't mean I don't know what's going on. So with the majority of we'll say ladies and gents, they're shooting poor content to begin with. I mean, if your content is real grainy, it's real dark, it's real just bad, you're probably not gonna make any money. Okay, people don't want to see grainy content. Now, you can shoot content with your iPhone, but you got to make sure that it's actually decent. Okay, and by decent, that means the lighting's pretty good, the location's pretty good. If you're shooting in a really, really messy bedroom, it doesn't look good. For some people who are into the showing more sexy things on OnlyFans, you're trying to sell a fantasy of sorts. Okay, you're trying to put on your best front. And if your best front is a messy bedroom, it's very difficult to sell that, okay? Fellas, if you kind of ashy all over, it's just not gonna do it for you, okay? You wanna make sure that you're doing your best to present, to present your brand, okay? It would be the same on Instagram or anything like that, all right? Another reason that you're not making money on OnlyFans, okay? Careful, trash can. Got him. All right. One of the other reasons you're not making money on OnlyFans is, number one, you have a very small following. Okay, so if you don't know how to parlay your Instagram traffic or Facebook traffic, Twitter, Reddit, whatever, to your OnlyFans account, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to make any type of money. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, oh, but this girl, she has like, 1,000 followers on Instagram and she's making bank. Well, she's probably funneling, traffic from some other source. Okay, she's probably moving it from, Twitter or, Reddit or Facebook or some other medium, maybe even physical medium if she's, known in the community. All right, if you only have, a handful of people that know about you, it's very, very difficult to translate that over to money. Okay, so you have to be able to grow a social media presence first and foremost because it makes it easier because you get natural organic engagement. Organic engagement is going to be the best way to go about it. Can you pay for people to join essentially? Yes, you can, but it's not the best way to go about it. So when you're growing your Instagram, come up with some type of branding, strategy or theme. My girls, we typically will remove remove like their iPhone content unless it's, Reels or something like that. And we'll replace it with, professional, shots. So, I generally will host photo shoots for the girls because it's really important to get their quality up there. So better quality will not necessarily trick people, but will get people to come and subscribe because they like better quality. Do some girls get away with the iPhone content? Yes, they do. But when you have professional photos, it makes it much easier to convert those people. Okay, more people want to see professional things, and then in turn, they'll like, comment, they'll, follow you and all that, and then it'll help grow your social media presence. You should also be trying to go live with other larger accounts. Maybe, you pay for a shout out or something along those lines. But growing your social media presence is going to be very important when you're going with that type of traffic to convert them over to your OnlyFans page. If you can't do that, you're going to have a very difficult time. All right. So some of my girls, they haven't understood that just yet. So they kind of sit there and spin their wheels, and I keep telling them the same thing over and over, but it just doesn't click. So let's go ahead, let's get into another thing right now. Let's go. One of the other reasons could be because you haven't identified your niche or your target audience just yet. Okay, so you may be creating content that the people interested in you don't necessarily want to see. And that's, that happens all the time. So with some of the girls that, that I do manage, when we first get their accounts, we take a look and we kind of comb through and clean up things. We'll notice a lot of content that is kind of scattered, doesn't really have a theme, and it doesn't sell. People just don't even bother, liking it or commenting on it, don't even bother looking at it really, because you can check the statistics. And that just shows you that the content that you're trying to produce isn't something that your audience wants to see. Now, if that's something that you're really, really stuck on, then, maybe you need to find the audience that wants to see that type of content, or you just give up altogether, all right? Because there's, as they say, there's a niche for everybody, right? There's an audience for everyone. But sometimes that audience is very small, and sometimes that audience isn't necessarily willing to pay what you're asking for. So if you're dead set on that particular audience, make sure that you're creating the type of content that they really want to see, not the type of content that you just want. Okay, and that tends to be a problem with a lot of people. Instead of making content that their audience wants to see or that people want to see so they can kind of capture more people into their ecosystem, they just make the stuff that they want because they're like, oh, this is what I like. And what you like might not be what sells. It's kind of similar to what I coach with drop shipping, with whether it be on Amazon, eBay, Shopify, whatever. You want to sell what actually sells. You don't want to sell what you want to sell. There's a big difference. You want to make money, right? So you want to, garner to that particular audience. Now, can you spice, in something that you prefer? Yes, but only after you built that audience of loyal following. So let's say your audience wants to see you, I don't know, maybe juggling, right? Maybe you have a juggling audience. Maybe they want to see you juggling bowling balls or, bowling pins. I don't know, right? But maybe that's what they're really into, and maybe that's what they want to see from you. But if you're out here, shooting content, riding sailboats, and that's not what they want to see, they're not going to purchase, and you're going to have a very difficult time converting them. So maybe you focus more on bringing in those people that enjoy seeing you juggle, and then kind of spice in some of the content that you want to create as you become larger. Because ultimately, not everybody that comes into your ecosystem is going to want to see you juggle. They might enjoy you because you're talented, and they might like your personality, and over time that's going to grow. Okay, so you want to kind of cater to your hardcore fan base to kind of get those people in, get them buying that content, and then you can move over to the other side. Okay, it seems counterproductive. Because you feel like, oh, well, if I'm producing content that I want, everyone's gonna come in and look at it and buy it, and that's just simply not the case. So if you do a poll, which I recommend, something that that my girls do and their managers do, we'll do a poll and like, hey, what type of content do you want to see more of? Because if you cater to the people that are giving you those responses, then guess what? They're going to be more likely to pay for said content. If you don't know what your audience wants and you're just shooting in the dark, you're kind of lost. Okay, so you definitely want to engage with your audience, kind of find out what they want to see, and go from there. If like I said, if you're dead set on a specific niche, you need to do your research. Maybe that niche is very small, and maybe the people that are inside that niche don't necessarily want to pay for things. If you're like a gamer chick, or maybe you like the LARP, live action role playing, if you're into that, LARPing is a large community, but people that want to buy content geared towards that might be very small. So you're going to have to do a lot more work to sell content catered, directly to those people. Maybe they want to see you dress up as, as a night elf. Maybe they want to see you dress up as a troll or something along those lines. Maybe they want to see you going out there with, swords and whacking people with shields. You're not necessarily going to know, but you have to ask. And once you do ask and you find that out, then maybe you can target those specific people and go from there. It's difficult at first, but as you get into it, it'll become a little bit easier because you'll know the people that you're going for, okay? It's kind of a catch-22. Everybody wants to create content that they want. They don't necessarily want to create the content that sells because, it might not be fun, but whatever, such is life. Now, let's go on to the next one. We're getting to the ones that are definitely going to offend some people, so I'm sorry in advance. Let's go. Your pricing structure may be too damn high. okay? You know, a lot of people don't want to hear that, right? But they're like, oh, you know, they feel that they should be able to charge whatever the hell they want and people are gonna buy it. If you're charging $50 for a video of you like picking your toenails, unless you got a hardcore audience that wants to see that shit, it ain't gonna sell, people. Okay, you need to be realistic. If you have a small fan base, you can't be charging premium prices. If nobody knows who you are, they're really not gonna pay premium prices for the content that you produce unless it's something that they really, really wanna see, all right? Price accordingly. You know, some of the girls that come to me, you know, when we start their accounts, we're looking through, you know, all the content they've been producing and then the pricing and stuff like that. I've seen some crazy shenanigans, okay? There, you know, a lady that, you know, that signed to us, she was trying to sell a video, a 15-second video for $80. $80. And you wanna know what it was? Essentially just her, you know, looking at the camera, doing this, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. What? $80 for that? Like I said, hardcore audience, they might be into that. But for the average person, hell to the no. Okay, she was barely making like $100 a month. And, you know, it's difficult to tell people like, look, you just don't have the audience to do that type of shit yet. You gotta build it up and go from there. So we gotta price things a little lower. And of course, you know, at that point, people feel cheated. Not cheated, but they feel devalued. Like, oh wait, I don't want to sell anything for $10. I'm going to sell it for $80. Well, it's kind of hard to sell things for $80 if people aren't buying shit for $10, right? So you gotta walk before you can run, okay? And then you gotta crawl before you can walk, really. It takes a little while to build that up, all right? And in some cases, it's very, very difficult to fix that and get people to change that mentality, all right? I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but sometimes your pricing is just too high, and that's whether it's, you know, unlockable messages, unlockable wall posts, you know, or your subscription, you know. Okay, so let's talk about that, you know, as well. You know, we're going to talk about the differences between, you know, the free model and a paid subscription, because sometimes they can be very conflicting, and that's also why you're not making any money. So let's go ahead, let's talk about it. So let's talk about, you know, the price that you have for your subscription. Okay, the price of your subscription might be way too high, right? It might be astronomical compared to the competition. Again, if you don't have a large following, but you're trying to charge people $50 a month, that's probably not gonna work. And some people are gonna feel cheated, which kind of bubbles over into the terrible content. If you're shooting crappy content, but you're charging people a premium to come see said crappy content, they're probably gonna leave after the first month, or they're gonna do a chargeback. They're gonna be less inclined to purchase your content if they don't feel that it's worth it. Usually, when people subscribe to an OnlyFans and they're paying to subscribe, they wanna see premium content. They want to see good content, and that's what keeps them coming back. If you're not producing good content, you're just shooting, you know, some bedroom stuff here and there, you're not taking the time to, you know, get a videographer and shoot some bomb stuff, you're kind of assed out. Okay, and that's why you see a lot of these girls and guys running promotions on a regular basis. You'll see them, oh, you know, 50% off, you know, for the next 5 people or 10 people, because they're bleeding followers every single month, right? Those fans are just dropping off because they don't feel that it's worth it. If you notice that you're getting a large drop-off, or the majority of your money is made from paid subscriptions, that lets you know that your content fucking sucks. All right, so if you look and you're like, oh, I'm making $2,000 a month for my paid subscriptions, but I'm not really getting anyone tipping or unlocking my DMs, chances are your content just fucking sucks. And that's why you're having to constantly run promotions, because people are dropping off because they kind of feel cheated. I'm not saying that you are cheating them, but that's how they feel. So the girls that I manage, we all have free accounts. Well, they all have, I don't have one, but they're free accounts, because guess why? It helps you bring in more people who are gonna be willing to pay. If there's no barrier to entry, guess what? Anyone can come in. And then they don't feel cheated when they do have to pay for some type of content. You know, they get the opportunity to kind of engage with the person that they're interested in. They get to see a little bit of the free stuff going on, some behind the scenes content. And then in turn, they feel like they know that person and they'll purchase. All right, so a lot of these girls are out here and they're like, oh, I got 100 fans and I'm charging them $15 a month. You know, in turn, you're making $1,500. You know, some of the girls I manage, they got 10, 15, 20,000 fans, and, you know, they're making way more money than that. And they're not getting chargebacks because people don't feel cheated. People are actually happy to purchase that content because they have no crazy expectations. When you pay $20 a month, you kind of have expectations of what that content is supposed to be. if it's not up to par, chances are you're not gonna wanna stick around. And that tends to be a problem for a lot of the girls in the space and guys as well. So you wanna keep an eye out for that. Now this is probably gonna upset a lot of people as well, but we have to talk about it and we have to be honest. You guys know I keep it honest over here on the channel. That's just what it is. There is a market for everyone, but sometimes that market is very small. And you gotta be realistic with yourself. Like, you know, I ain't the most handsome dude out there, so I know I'm probably not gonna be out there making a ton of money on OnlyFans. If you are not your traditional standard of good looking, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for you to make money. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for you to convert your following to paid customers, okay? And that's just the way it works, you know. There's so many options out there, you know, with people who are traditionally beautiful or whatever, that you're gonna have to step your game up or have something in a way of better content that's gonna keep those people coming back, you know. And I hate to, you know, be the bearer of bad news, but that's just what it is, you know. And you know what they say, everyone's beautiful in their own right. Man, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and all this stuff. But when it comes to paid content, it's a very subjective industry, okay? Very, very subjective. And, you know, some of my friends like, you know, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗔𝗏 or Chelsea Rose or, you know, Anna Cherie and all those girls, Caitlyn, when you look at their pages, they embody, I guess you could say, traditional standards. And that's why they're able to garner a wider audience and make that kind of money. If you don't garner a wider audience, you really have to niche down and find an audience that's specific to you and make sure that they're really, really loyal. So unfortunately, that's also one of the things, you know. If you don't have those qualities or those assets, you need to make sure that your content is even more engaging than that. A lot of these girls and guys, because they're really good looking, they can get away doing bare minimum. And for the rest of us, we can't do bare minimum. Like, we gotta really have, you know, have something that they don't. So the content has to be better. It has to be shot in a style that is more appealing, or we have to have a talent that, you know, these traditionally beautiful people don't have. So unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if you ain't, you know, really, really good looking, you're gonna have a more difficult time making money. So sorry guys. But with that being said, man, you know, if you have any questions, hit the links below. You can always reach out to me. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. So be safe, be smart, peace out.